it didn't seem forced. It was actually like pretty tame.
Really?
Yeah.
Did she?
It was just a lot of rubbing oil and stuff on there. It wasn't
pretty tame. Hey guys, happy Monday. How are you? I am Sam, and this is the After the Bars podcast. Manic Monday. Do you guys remember that song? Man, who did that song? Oh man, she was gorgeous. Walked like an Egyptian. The Bangles, was that the name of the band? It feels exactly how a Monday is supposed to feel. I am groggy. I took a day off, so I'm feeling a little slow this morning, but hopefully I can get through it and get you guys all the information that I'm trying to provide here on this Mayhem Report podcast. I try to do this every morning for all you new subscribers. Thanks for coming out. Today we're going to talk about the CNN juror. He has a lot of information has come out that he lied to get on the jury. He's by working for the UN. There's that. We're also going to introduce the trial that starts this week. Opening statement starts today. I am going to do live coverage on the After the Bars channel on YouTube. So stay tuned for that. Make sure if you do subscribe, you turn on your bell notifications for all notifications, and you will get the notification that I'm going to go live and give my as expert as I can mentally come up with commentary on that trial. Ask around. I do pretty good commentary for trials. I think you guys will thoroughly enjoy it. Also, we have some Carmelo Anthony updates coming this week. It's going to be a pretty exciting week. I don't know if I'm going to cover Epstein too much. I feel like those videos get shadow banned a little bit, and why discuss something that's not going to be heard? It'll be heard by a few of you, by a few of the Samster loyalists that we have on the channel, and it might get out to a couple of people, but I like to talk about the things that we can have larger conversations with, and that the algorithm will shoot out to more people. Anyway, let's get to it. So juror, what is his name? Juror 18. I can't remember his name. He works for the UN. Fortunately enough, or unfortunately enough, this could affect the jury process. Anyways, he did that. He violated the jury instructions by communicating and discussing it with the other jurors, self-admittedly. Which has undermined the jury's integrity, which is really unfortunate. Let's take a look at his interview. And I just want to thank the Inner City Press for all their coverage in the Diddy trial. I'm sure some of you guys have seen it. In U.S. versus Combs, the judge told the jurors and alternates at every break, don't speak with each other about the case. UN alternate George something, I can't remember his last name, who did not deliberate, told CNN unanimously, we all said. He also said, UNCOT does not work with U.S. law enforcement. Well, UNCOT is exactly, basically, I feel like they are law enforcement. They are counterterrorism. That's the UN counterterrorism group. How is that not working with law enforcement? So those are the things that we feel he lied about. He's got 350 pages of notes. We think he's trying to sell that as a book. Actually, I think there is proof already out there that he is trying to sell that as a book. So I'll just say that. You guys know I don't like to talk on rumor. Let's watch what Inner City Press put out.
All said like, wow, like it was.
Don't speak with the other jurors.
That I think unanimously we kind of all said like, wow, like it was.
In the interview, which we are going to watch right now, I feel like he does say that he felt like he didn't know he was an alternate juror until after they deliberated. No, that's actually before they deliberated. So I don't know if he's just misspeaking because he's nervous because he's on CNN. I don't know. I feel like I'd be pretty nervous if I was on CNN. Let's take a look at it.
Joining me now is an alternate juror who was in the Sean Diddy Combs trial. George is joining us right now. This was 7 weeks of your life, hearing all of this testimony. You were an alternate. You did not deliberate, but did you agree with the final verdict?
I understood the final verdict, and I think if I, because I took a copious amount of notes overall. I took 350 pages worth of notes, because at the end we weren't told who was an alternate, who was the main juror, until literally the last second when they were reading when the judge was reading his entire statement. At the end, it was like, the first 12 are the jurors, the last 5 are the alternates. So we didn't know. We didn't, even in the jury room, no one treated everyone. We all were equal, because we didn't know who was who.
Would you have acquitted him on RICO?
I think reading all my.
He's trying to make himself a juror, which he's an alternate, but he's trying to make himself part of the deliberation, which is funny. And CNN tries to save him here a couple of times.
My notes and looking back at the evidence, I probably would have reached the same conclusion as the other jurors.
What was it about that charge?
I don't, the thing with the when it, because we were asked and the judge had instructed us that we have to find him guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Mm-hmm. And I think there was always a little bit of doubt in people's mind. And I think it was a tough case to prove, especially the first one. And there was always a little bit of doubt there, even from the beginning.
Why did you doubt?
I think some of the charges, some of the witnesses, if you look at it one way, but then when you were listening to the defense, you could see it their way as well.
Were there any witnesses that made you think, I don't believe this?
There was one that I think unanimously we kind of all said, like, wow, like it was almost like watching.
Yeah, I mean, that's communication. If what he's saying is true, which really I don't necessarily think that they did, but by his comment just right there, they're saying that they discussed the case before they got to deliberation. And if that's the case, when really I just think he's just trying to sell a book, trying to sell his jury experience to the media, which he didn't. He wasn't in deliberations. The only thing the media wants to know is how they got to their conclusion in the deliberations. And I think CNN really dropped the ball on this one. They shouldn't even have given this guy 2 seconds of time. They probably even paid him to be on.
Like TV, It was like, like when I think her name was Dawn Richard, that one. Mm-hmm. When she on cross-examination. I mean, I never saw such a cross-examination. It was very impressive to watch.
What was it about it?
I think just how the defense, got into her and really made her, look very not credible. I mean, I even wrote in my notebook that it was like a takedown.
Really? And that was pretty early on.
That was pretty early on.
From the opening statements, did you have a mindset of who you thought had a better case?
No. I think overall, from the way I look at it, both sides presented really good. Both sides presented themselves well. We were very impressed with the prosecution and the defense, how they, the professionalism, how they carried themselves.
Everybody's a movie.
I mean, it was really good lawyering, as they say.
Racketeering is notoriously a complex case. Did you feel that the prosecution presented enough evidence to support that there was even an enterprise?
I think they did the best that they could, but I think it was a tough case to prove.
Why?
I mean, when you look at the charges, kidnapping, arson, forced labor, the government had one side, but then the defense, they had some pretty good rebuttals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, the government has one side, the defense has another side. Yep, that's how it goes.
To it. So, I mean, that I think added some, doubt always, and I think in people's mind.
You didn't hear from some of the people the government said were co-conspirators, like employees.
Like Christina Karam,
for example, or D-Rock.
Yeah.
Did that affect your thoughts about the case?
I don't think so, no.
Would you have wanted to hear from them?
We always thought that maybe we would hear from them, but but maybe
They
we
should've
also
heard
understood
them.
maybe why they wouldn't
That was the recall.
be called.
Why?
Because maybe they didn't want to testify, or they wouldn't really be proving the case, or maybe it would be like it would be not advantageous to be called. So, but honestly, we were just waiting till the end, until when the judge gave his instructions and how to interpret the law. Because I think everyone really didn't have anything made up, their mind made up, or in any way. It was really, everyone was waiting to see how the definitions and how everything was going to be interpreted, and what they were to be looked at.
Everyone.
So
Exactly.
important.
I knew
Yeah.
Talk to me about the sex trafficking cases, because of court charges.
Crazy.
Obviously, Cassie
can tell
Ventura
he's trying to sell the
testified
experience.
visibly pregnant for days.
Yes.
How did her testimony impact you in your understanding of the case?
It did. I listened. We listened very intently.
Listen to
It was,
this.
I think, 5 days or forever of thing, and it was very riveting. And it was very riveting testimony, and very credible
Riveting.
testimony.
You believed her.
I mean, I think we did. I think we did. I mean, she wouldn't have done all this just to come up there and lie about everything. So no, I don't think even the defense didn't come out
But
and
they
say or
didn't
anything
believe
like
there
that.
was a crime.
Did the money that they talked about in terms of a civil settlement she received, did that color her testimony for you at all?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. No.
Did you look at the defendant, Diddy Combs, differently after her testimony?
No, I didn't really look at him too much. I mean, I always looked at him because my point of view was just literally at him, like some people were on the side, but I was more in the corner. So I was always like staring at him. But I don't think he was mostly just very composed and talking with his lawyers and very in control. It seemed like, because I think I'm not really familiar too much with cases, and I don't really follow cases in court, so I don't know how defendants usually act. But sometimes what I've heard in from the news is that some defendants, they just sit very stoically. They don't interact with their lawyers. They just let their lawyers talk and go. But he was very, talking with them, writing notes, doing that. So you could tell that he was
regular Karen Reed.
He was fighting for himself.
You saw some very graphic images, videos. You heard very sexual and graphic details. What was that like, hearing that? And how did it impact how you viewed the case?
No, they were very graphic, and but I think overall, we were looking at it from like one side, and it was definitely riveting and eye opening.
What did you see on the videos? The press wasn't able to see it in real time.
Yeah. No, I mean, they were showing some of the. Well, I mean, there was both the freak offs and hotel nights, as they were called, from both of them. But it was.
What did they show in those videos?
They showed, well, again, the defense and the prosecution showed different clips, so they were very selective. Like the prosecution was showing more, just Cassie just sitting around.
The defense showed that.
Yeah.
Just her sitting around, not engaging in sexual activity.
Yes.
The prosecution, when you had to have your headphones on, and otherwise, what were you seeing then?
There was sexual activity, but I mean, it wasn't really.
Was it force?
It didn't seem forced. It was actually like pretty tame.
Really?
Yeah.
Did she?
It was just a lot of rubbing oil and stuff on there. It wasn't
pretty tame. You think the prosecution would show pretty tame? So either the prosecution just didn't want to show, or they didn't have anything like too aggressively violent or forced. I mean, even though, and you guys have heard me talk about before that that they couldn't present what trauma bonding is and all things, or old boy is a super freak, right? That he's a freak himself, and he's like, oh no, this shit was tame. I think it's pretty crazy to call those tapes tame, unless they were tame. So I don't know. I guess it's all, subjective, I guess, or objective, whatever the one is.
And anything too graphic, I would say.
Let me ask you.
And what is she trying to hear? Like how did she want him to answer that? Do you know what I mean? It's unbelievable to me that she would ask that question in a sense, or maybe prefacing it by saying, don't get too graphic, but what did you see? What did you see? Let's keep playing it.
This jury that deliberated did not find sex trafficking when it came to Cassie Ventura. They also didn't find it when it came to Jane. And I want to ask you about Jane in a moment.
Mhm.
But did it surprise you when it came to Cassie Ventura that they did not convict on sex trafficking?
No, I don't. I think it was a difficult thing to prove, and I think there was always some doubt, whether, because I think what the judge says, it has to be forced,
Mhm.
and I think the defense did show some messages where it didn't seem that it was forced.
Oh, her text messages when she talked about it.
Yeah.
That was really important to you to consider.
I think that was
Yeah,
one
that was
aspect.
evidence.
Yes,
Did that make you feel that it was consensual?
it did seem like it. Yeah.
Talk to me about Jane.
Even in the
Oh, go
videos
ahead.
and everything seemed very consensual.
Really?
Yeah,
How about with Jane? Obviously, she testified for several days, very emotional at times.
it was. Yeah.
What did you think of her credibility? Did you believe her?
I think it was very again, riveting,
Mhm.
long testimony.
He loves that word,
And,
riveting. He does. Everything was
I think
riveting.
I mean, I did believe her, at
Mhm.
least on some parts. Some parts were a little bit didn't add up as much. Seemed a little strange.
What part
But-
seems strange to you?
One part for me that seemed a little strange was the night, I think, when Jane was in, when they had the fight.
Yeah.
It just, the timing seemed a little like you going from like one closet to another closet to it just, something didn't add up there.
Mm. How about the impact when you heard that her rent was being paid or her lawyer is being paid by the defendant? Did that surprise you?
That was surprising. Yeah. And it was still being paid.
Surprising
What
to
did
me
you
too.
think when you heard that?
Wow. Wow. It was surprising.
I want to ask you as well about, I mean, obviously I'm talking about Diddy as if I know him. Like we know his name because he's,
Yeah.
this very famous person. Did the fact that he was so famous, did that impact you in any way? Did you know him?
No, I did not know him.
Do you know his music at all?
No, I don't. I didn't really listen to his music.
So seeing him
I mean,
was
he
just
only had
a
one
stranger.
song.
Pretty much. I mean, I
30
know.
years
I
ago.
mean, I
30
know
years
of him, and I know, but I don't really follow his music or the rap industry
Mhm.
in general. So that might have been why. I think a lot of the jurors, I think, if you look at their backgrounds, I don't think they were, they didn't follow this or that. I mean, that's probably why they were chosen. I was
Oh.
never expected to be chosen, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, let me
I
ask,
wasn't even looking
Oh,
for
you
this
weren't
at
chosen.
all.
who would be,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But let me ask you, the other jurors, when you would talk to them, I know you weren't.
He's saying he wasn't looking for this at all, but he lied to get on the jury.
Do you know him?
No, I did not know him.
Do you know his music at all?
No,
Sorry.
no, I don't think so. No, I think everyone was really waiting for the interpretation of the law. And
Is that because you were confused about the case or because you just wanted to know your marching orders?
I think
Orders.
we wanted to know our marching orders and how we need to look at everything. I think we were really.
Well, look, I want to talk a little bit about, and then we'll play the rest of this. What it would mean for if it comes out that he should have been disqualified, but he didn't have any impact on the results of the trial. So I think that as I'm processing it all in my own head, I don't think that he could cause any adverse repercussions for lying to be an alternate juror. because he didn't have any impact on the outcome of the verdict. But there is a rule in the federal system called I think Rule 30, I think, where they can declare a mistrial even after a verdict, and if for situations like this, and that would be devastating because then they could retry the RICO and they could try it differently. They could change up the way that they prosecute, which isn't a bad thing. I don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it would be all bad for Diddy, and which I think is a good thing, in my opinion. So yeah, I can't remember where that's at, but I did have it. But yeah, I think it's Rule 30. I just wanted to talk about that a little bit more. It would definitely, they would definitely have grounds for a mistrial and then to retry him on those things. And that might be happening. I still think there is a superseding indictment that's coming down. And that's why the judge kept him in jail, because he very well easily could have let him out. I do think if it was anybody else, they would have got let out with the charges that they were convicted of. I'm not saying it's like misdemeanor charges, but they're on the low end of felony. He's not looking at a ton of time, and he has a ton of connections. He's super famous, so it's not like he would run, and that would be the biggest concern, that he would run. But they do have prior knowledge and of the violence that he's responsible for. So that could be another reason, but I wholeheartedly think there is superseding indictments coming down. Check out my video up there in the corner about why I don't think he's ever getting out. But that's just in my opinion. Let's watch the rest of this.
I think, at least for me, we want to be, and we are asked to be as impartial as possible. So we needed to know, you hear both sides of,
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt the video, but remember, hit that like button down below. It really helps the channel to grow bigger and better and more diverse, and not that weird, creepy kind of government diverse. I'll Samsplain it for you if you want. You want to hear some Samsplaining? Just like the video down below.
After the bars, the story begins. A fight for the lost, a chance to win.
the other side, and it's very important to know what we're actually supposed to be, ruling at, and how we're supposed to be looking at it from the judge.
There was a juror who was excused close to the end of the trial. What did you know about that, and why?
We weren't told, what happened. I mean, I think someone had mentioned that it was, I think he lied about where he was from or something like that. But really, we were kind of kept in like isolation from the whole day. Not really told much, told to not, follow any news or turn off everything. Don't talk to anyone. Don't talk among yourselves about the case, which we followed. We really followed the judge's instructions. At least I did too.
Contradicting what
So
you
when that
said.
person,
Myself.
yeah,
most of
well,
the time.
when that person was no longer in the chair after seeing them there for 7 weeks on end, or however many weeks it was in at that point, did you think it was odd? Did you have concerns?
No. I mean, that's why they have, they call 18 people, because then they knew it was a long case, and there's probably going to be someone's going to get sick or someone's going to drop out. So that's why. So
Would you have wanted to hear Diddy testify? Would it have made a difference to you?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
It wouldn't have made a difference because it wouldn't have added to your understanding, or because you'd heard enough?
I think we heard enough. I don't know if it would have
No, they didn't hear
helped
enough.
or hindered. I haven't
They
really.
didn't hear enough because they found not him, but they found him not guilty of the charges that we were all rooting for and be found guilty of. I shouldn't say we all, but I know most of my community here on After the Bars, that's what that they were rooting for. I get it. Maybe the evidence wasn't there. I don't understand why they didn't put on most of the witnesses that they had on the list. I know a lot of it's emotional because, we've all seen the beating that Cassie Ventura took in the hallway at the hotel in California. But that was Diddy paid for that to not ever come out. So there's a cover up there. There's just, I don't know.
Really thought about that as much.
Yeah.
But I think it was really helpful again in the end, at least for what we were looking forward to. What I was looking forward to the most was just the 61-page judge instructions of how we're supposed to be charged the law.
They did find him guilty of those transportation to engage in prostitution charges. The prosecution was being very sarcastic and laughing at the idea that these men were just being paid for their time. How did you see that statement?
You mean the defense?
Mm-hmm. Well, the prosecution said that, well, yes, you're right. The defense said that they were being paid for the time. The prosecution was mocking that. Who did you believe?
No, I think the evidence to show that there was the transportation of prostitution, I think was overwhelming, and that's why the jury found him guilty on those two counts.
If you had been,
because the prosecution not only they showed the hotel records, the bank records, the flight information. For that, I think that they proved their case beyond a reasonable doubt.
If for some reason you were to ever talk to Diddy, what would you tell him about how you saw this trial?
To be honest, I really wouldn't want to talk to him or anyone associated with that. I just wanted to kind of tell my side of the story, but I really wouldn't want to, associate with him or any of the people that are with him.
Can I ask you one more question?
Sure.
And it's about
Good
the video
answer.
from the Intercontinental Hotel that you saw
Yes.
a lot.
Yeah, it was.
Was it a? Did
Because
you
they
see
did it. Sometimes they did it like frame by frame by frame.
What did you think of that? Did you see it enough? Too much? Too little? What?
I mean, it was a very bad video. I think they showed it. I think they showed it enough. I mean, they tried to show it both sides and
Both sides. What?
Did it make a difference to you in the actual charges that you would have had to deliberate over? Because he wasn't charged with.
he wasn't
violence
charged
alone.
with domestic violence. No,
Did that surprise you?
no, because I don't think domestic violence is a federal crime.
It's not a federal crime, and it's also the statute of limitations is run out. The statute of limitations actually is very short for domestic violence in California. It's actually just a year. So, but it can go to show to where Diddy's head was at, and I'm glad that the judge let it in.
So,
Did it cloud the way you saw the rest of the charges by seeing that video?
no, I think we looked at just what we were supposed to be, what the judge had said we were supposed to look at, and then based off of the evidence that was presented to us, they ruled in that way.
Do you think he should go to prison?
That's for the judge to decide. I mean, he was found guilty on both counts. So we're the sentencing is not up to us.
Mm-hmm.
It's not up to me. It's up to the judge, who was by the way, we were all impressed with the judge and how he was. So that the jury, I can't speak for the jury because I was an alternate, but I think we all really much liked the judge on this case. We found them to be very fair, very stern.
I don't, if what he's saying is true, because he keeps saying we all felt that they discussed the case. I just think he's just nervous and he's just saying those things. But I do believe he lied to get on the jury, and I do believe he's trying to sell his book. But who knows? What does it really matter in the grand scheme of things of what's going to happen to Diddy? Yes, if the defense does file a motion, a Rule 30, then yes, it'll matter big time. So I guess just stay tuned, and we'll just have to wait and find out if they do file that, if they do feel like there was prior communication or discussion about the case, which basically he is saying that there was a couple of times. I don't think there's any other way to look at it. I really don't. So anyways, so stay tuned for this week. We're going to be covering the honor killing trial up in Washington. I'm going to start that today. This will probably come out after that or during that. So go over and check that out on After the Bars. Please hit the like button if you haven't already, or the dislike button. Just any kind of engagement. It really helps the algorithm for the channel, and it's free. And if you've watched a couple of videos, more than one video, please hit the subscribe button and hit the all notifications so you don't miss a thing. I guess that's it. It's Monday. I know I sound a little unarticulate and succinct, but I promise you by Friday, that gets a lot better. I assure you, it surely does. So stay tuned for the rest of the week. We are going to have tons of fun. I am Sam, and this has been After the Bars. And
Real Fabio?
yeah, oh yeah, he's an idiot.
Yeah. Oh, I almost had the name.
So he's like, yeah, that dude, he didn't testify against somebody on a murder trial.